Today's program is basically to bring together entrepreneurs with disabilities to give them some kind of introduction to how they can expand their businesses in terms of compliance, making sure that their businesses are up to standard and then they are ready for the market. Because from today's program, you realize that business registration is key in terms of accessing funds. You also get to know that there are other interventions ongoing that they didn't know. So this was an opportunity for them to know where they can access funds, get interacted with the banks, get interacted with the Ghana Enterprises Agency, for them to know how to qualify for some of the support that they have for them. It is also to provide them with the information and the knowledge to be able to expand their business. But I must say that all the participants here today, we have already trained them in entrepreneurship skills, giving them some kind of training on proper bookkeeping, how to brand their own product among the rest. So this was called an SME clinic, that's small and medium enterprises clinic, basically to have some engagement with stakeholders for them to also know them. So this will be a continuous thing. We hope that early next year we will have another session of an SME clinic where we will bring together. At the end of the day, we are looking at expanding businesses of about 120 entrepreneurs with disabilities. So basically, that's how we are targeting within a period of 2 years to be able to expand the businesses and then the economic growth of about 120 people living with disabilities together with their families, including people with mental health conditions. So that is our target. There's one thing that does not help in the inclusion work, and that has to do with stigma. But the stigma, I must say, is also in two forms, because even with the people we are working with as people with disabilities, some of them feel like, who am I to do this? Who am I to get in there? So that is what we are trying to do. But amidst all this, we are confronted by the social stigma and then the discrimination in our communities, the kind of negative language and attitude towards people with disabilities, in such a way that even when you go to some communities, people feel like, if you're a person with disability, why should I buy from you? Why should I even interact with you? So all these things are social barriers that we need to work around it. We need to eliminate or do away with the stigma in the system in terms of the using positive language on mental health and disabilities, in terms of creating a culture of support whereby people with disabilities can also live comfortable and then do their businesses in their communities. I can tell you that when we are able to eliminate this stigma and discrimination, people with disabilities, like we saw today, are capable of doing a lot of things we didn't even know. So we have been advocating that living with a disability does not mean you cannot do anything. We can do something. There are a lot of people you see here today who are doing wonderfully well. So you can engage yourself in apprenticeship. There are so many government support. When you go to the district assemblies, they have some kind of support for people with disabilities. The fact is that most of the programs and interventions by the district assemblies, this time you don't want it to be like a colorful kind of thing. We need to move away from the flower kind of product for people with disabilities and give them the rare product that they need in terms of assessing their capacity, doing some kind of needs assessment to know what each of them want. And then they shouldn't also limit it to few people that they see, either they are politically affiliated or something. There are a lot more people there who do not even know about this Assembly Common Fund, who are not even benefiting. Now from this workshop, I learned that a Ghana Enterprises Agency is giving some kind of support for people with disabilities. How many people with disabilities are even aware of some of these interventions? So we believe and think that governments should make some of these things more popular so that more people with disabilities can have access to some of these things. And then they should also do away with the barriers that do not encourage them to access some of these things. The person do not have the thing. You are telling the person to go and register with this person, register with that, get a bank account, get this, get that. How is the person going to get all these things? So they should make the product more realistic, more consumable for persons with disabilities. When they are able to do away with the barriers, you see more people with disabilities coming out comfortably to access those funds.
what I've learned in the program is like, if you're a person with disability, that doesn't mean you cannot do anything. You have to do something so that you can be independent, not should be, depend on anybody. I've learned so many things like how to manage my customers and how to save.
Yeah, na MPMP no oman Ghana mu ye ka ademdifo ehye. But any program here am ye hu say no matter how say na oti bia no e wo say won so woton ho na yetimi ton wadwuma e wo oman Ghana na biase afanan nyina. Enti program na ye no be bosumi ni a ye ko ba aboa yen bebre.
Enye common say yetimi eye bibi say maye nti yebo ma aba so say oma boa yen say because we disabled kura na say omo ye bibi say na wo try say wo kwa ade ba kwa ye hu wo hu say bia obebegi for money nso na bia empowerment bi na wo pe wo so de beboa wo but akoye say tag net tare ye na ni say wo ba ho a obesre nso na bia na nka wo so ukwa akọpẹ knowledge bi di ama o business anase wasita nti nyoma ye no maboa yen bebre